Debt management. I've already talked a fair amount about the importance of debt and controlling debt. Obviously the largest debt for most people is going to be their home mortgage. So home mortgage analysis is a very key part of personal financial planning. And that's why I designed the other assignment that you're going to do in this particular module, which is determining whether a refinance of a home mortgage is a good idea or not. And the determining factors are going to be essentially how long will you remain in the home, what is the cost to refinance, and then say, other personal issues. So that's kind of a catch-all for other things that might affect whether or not you want to refinance. But first of all, with home mortgages, there's a variety of types of home mortgages. The traditional home mortgages is what we call a fixed rate mortgage, which for the lifetime of the mortgage, the interest rate stays the same. There are also adjustable rate or variable rate mortgages. Those are essentially, they're describing the same thing there, where instead of the fixed interest rate, the interest rate can fluctuate depending on some other benchmark or index. Balloon mortgages are fairly rare in that this is a mortgage where you make payments for a while, but instead of just making payments and then suddenly you've paid off your mortgage, the payments stop and a large balloon payment or lump sum payment is due. For instance, maybe you borrow and they design the payments as if it were a 30-year mortgage, but the mortgage has a feature, a balloon payment due in 10 years. So you make payments as if you've got 30 years, which keeps the payment low, but in 10 years you're going to either have to come up with the money to pay the balance or refinance it. Those are more rare, but those do actually happen. And here's an example, and this is an example right from the textbook. I just clipped this out of the book. A person facing three different choices here. We've got a 30-year fixed mortgage, a fixed 15-year, and an ARM. Well, in this case, of course, the interest rate on the variable mortgage or adjustable rate mortgage is the lowest, but you expose yourself to that interest rate going up. And in the textbook example, this was what's called a 2-6 ARM, which means it can adjust a maximum of 2% per year and for a grand lifetime total of 6%. So next year it could go up as high as 5, the year after that it could go to 7, the year after that it could go to 9, but it is capped at 6% above the 3 here, so the most you'd ever pay is a 9% interest rate. So essentially this thing could fluctuate anywhere from 0 to 9, and it will move no more than 2 percentage points in any given year. Those, depending on interest rates at any given time, are more or less attractive. I'd say in this current environment, interest rates are historically low, so most people are locking in fixed rates. But no matter what the fixed rates are, the variable rates will always be less. Now you can see there's a big difference here between the 15-year and the 30-year. Let's see what that difference in payment is. You can see that the 15-year has an advantage in that there's a slightly lower interest payment, about 5% instead of 5.5%, but that translates to a difference of $321. So the fixed rate 15-year mortgage has a payment of $320 more. But let's look at over the life of that loan how much interest you're going to save. Both of the loans are the same amount. You're borrowing $144,000, but in the fixed rate 360-month loan, the 30-year loan, you're going to pay a total of $818 360 times. So you're going to pay $294,480 total once you've made all those payments. The 15-year mortgage is going to be a higher payment, $1,139, but it's only going to be for 180 months. So that's $205,020 for a savings of $89,460. Now that's all interest savings because the principal amount is the same on both of them. Now of course you're going to pay an extra $321 per month. Well, what is that comparison? If I pay an extra $321 per month for 180 months, that's $57,780. But the way you can think about this, a really rough way or very rudimentary way of comparing this, you're going to pay an extra $57,780 to save $89,460 over that 15-year period. So this is evidence that if you can afford to make the 15-year payment, you're going to save quite a lot of money. It's a pretty good investment, taking $57,780, turning it into $89,460. So there's a variety of ways to look at that analysis, but that just kind of a quick way of looking at the advantages of the shorter 15-year mortgage. Now, the analysis you're going to do in the assignment is a little bit different in that you're going to take a look at the cost of refinancing, which is going to involve maybe a new appraisal and some origination fees and that sort of thing, and determining how long you would have to stay in the home to get enough savings with the refinance to justify doing it. So hopefully that assignment will add to this discussion. If you have any questions over this, obviously let me know.